The last thing I wanted to share with you is the Montana NSF EPSCoR project. This is a National Science Foundation funded project. It stands for the Established Program to Stimulate Competitive Research. When it was launched in 1980, it was called the Experimental Program. They found that it worked. It's not experimental anymore. But basically, the National Science Foundation saw that all of their research dollars were going to the really big states, to Texas, to California, to New York, to Illinois. And so they made this very special program to build infrastructure in the most rural states. Montana's been part of the program since it started in 1980. The research topics change every 5 years. This year, or actually I shouldn't say this year, this 5 years, our topic is water quality. And the name of the project is the Consortium for Research on Environmental Water Systems. We're looking at the impacts on water related to hard rock mining, agriculture, and energy extraction. And we have a couple key research sites around the state, but anybody, anywhere can be involved in the outreach for this project. Again, it has a really nice budget for workforce development, external outreach and engagement, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. I want to share 2 projects that we're working on as part of educational outreach. One is called the Cruise Junior Researcher, and we're working with our EPSCoR scientists and engineers to transform what they do in the lab or the field into a classroom activity. This one is quite cool. It's by one of our environmental engineers in the College of Engineering. She made an activity that simulates the drainage that might come out of an abandoned mine, and then how we can use natural materials to filter those and get some of that pollution out of the water. These are free to download and free to use, and I'll share the link for you to do that. I also want to give a shout out to the Spectrum Discovery Center in Missoula. They're an outreach partner, and they have lots of great materials in the museum. They have exhibits, they have programs, they have field trips, and they do have a mobile science lab that goes out on the road. They do all kinds of science, not just the water quality. But if that's something that you're interested in bringing to your school or to your area, I can connect you with Spectrum and see if they can make a tour stop your way. This one we're also super excited about. I hope Michelle McCarthy is on the line because she's been working hard on this one. If you were at our Research in Action panel yesterday, we talked about using authentic data sets from researchers at MSU and other locations. Here's the class where it's going to happen. This will launch probably in September. It will be free through the Office of Public Instruction Teacher Learning Hub. And we are using data sets from, I think, 8 or 10 different Montana projects, all different types of projects. And you will learn how to use those data sets in your classroom, how to create resources that you can use with your students, and you'll have the support of all the students, all the other fellow teachers who are in the course too. I see Michelle is here. Michelle, I'm going fast, so type in the chat if I missed anything, and we hope to see you all in that class. I was going to spend the last 2 minutes to pitch you on a couple projects that we're thinking about for the EPSCoR project and hopefully get a little feedback from you. One is called Sensing for Science. As you've probably gathered or noted here, we use a lot of sensors in this type of work. We use remote sensing, we use in situ setting sensors. In the bottom right photo, that is a giant canister sensor that goes into a stream and stays there and gives us data about pH and other water quality measurements in the stream. In the upper left, that's a drone similar to what we do on the kites. They're flying that drone over waterways and looking at algal blooms or other water quality impurities. So my question for you, and if you would use the chat and we'll go real fast, are you using any sensors in your classroom or doing any activities that involve sensors? Melissa, I might have to have you narrate for me if you don't mind, if anybody's doing something with sensors in the classroom.
Nothing yet. Beth says we use IR thermometers to measure temperature of hot springs.
Oh, awesome. I love that activity. Very cool. Is that Beth in Yellowstone?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Christine Simonson says we use quite a few vernier sensors, for heart rate, blood pressure, EKGs, temperature probes, and more.
Awesome. Very cool. I'm actually going to throw up the second question. Even if people are still typing, you can do both of these. And I'm asking, what training do you have already, or what do you wish you knew about sensors? Because here's where we can definitely tap into those EPSCoR resources. If people are like, I heard about Arduino, but I don't know what to do with it. I want to make some sensors for the classroom. Maybe we can launch something for you. So is there something that you've been thinking about that you wish you could learn more about? Go ahead and throw that in the chat too. And I get, we are down to the last couple minutes. I am going to close on time. So here's my very last question in this area. I kind of have this fantasy of taking all this data that comes from all these sensors and presenting it through the arts. It's not my area of expertise, although I'm a fan of it. So I was curious if any of you have ideas for how we could visualize or show off this data through the arts. And I'd say go wild and crazy. What can you think of? Because, oh my gosh, if you have a project you want to do with your class that is a really cool and interesting way, I'll get you the data and set you up with what you need, and get your kids involved. I think that would be super awesome. Maybe we could have a contest or website. I don't know. I would love to hear your ideas about that, because I just think it'd be really cool. Okay, I am just about done. Water, that's the theme of the EPSCoR project. Oh, yeah, do we have a comment?
Just that we have Katie. She'd like to know how to use a sensor for more than one lesson. So
Ooh,
lots
yeah,
of
that's
ways
cool.
to use one type of sensor would be helpful.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, and then in our last minute, water, that's the theme of the Montana NSF EPSCoR grant. So why don't you focus on what you wish you could do and what do you need to do that? Because again, maybe we can get you supplies, training, field trip, visit from a scientist. What do you need to do more water science in your classroom? Just throw it out there and I will collect all those at the chat. I want to make sure we have time for this giveaway. So you keep typing. I'm going to leave with the URL for the Montana NSF EPSCoR website. My email is there, taylor@montana.edu. Again, I apologize. I threw so much info all at once, but I encourage you to reconnect with our center and let us know what you need, how we can help you. Melissa, should we give away a sensor?
Let's do it. Okay, I have the automatic number generator on, and everybody's name in a list. So we'll see. And you can look at the chat box because a few other things came in. Okay, here we go. And the lucky winner is number 7, which is Christine O'Shea. Christine, are you there?
Yes, yay.
Yay.
Christine, awesome. We'll connect with you on how to order and get that to you.
Great, thank you.
So congrats. Thank you all for joining. The reflection form is in the chat box. Susie, thank you for sharing. Anne, thank you for sharing. Thank you for partnering with us on so many things. And you really are, both of you, doing so much work in connecting with classrooms and connecting what's going on at MSU and in the research around us to classrooms. And we're going to do more of that because we know you want more training in that area. So, you know, with sensors, no, we really haven't had a lot of training on how to incorporate sensors. So we'd love to think about how to do that and offer that to Montana teachers. So have a great rest of your afternoon. Those of you joining for the Science Center event and the whiskey tasting and demonstration. We'll see you around 4 p.m. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.